bathroom. Those are, dead giveaways. But that sold for 330. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like. Let me see if there's any other comps. I have to click out here. And go to a different uh, neighborhood. All right. Still only one result. Looks like it could be more than 330, but I want to find. All right, so this one's on Vanderbilt.
This is what the young man did in the story of the prodigal son. He went to his father and said, "Give me the portion of goods that belong to me." They were rightfully his. It was his inheritance. But a blessing given at the wrong time is not a blessing. Something may have your name on it. You know God has put it in your heart.
Vanderbilt 3-2, over 2,000 square feet. Sold this year, off market. Let's see, copy, paste.
I loved her just as much when she was 5 years old. I would have done anything for her. I had the funds, but I knew giving her a car at 5 wouldn't be a blessing. Sometimes God proves his love to us by what he's not letting us have. Doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. We just have to spend more time in the weight room, growing, developing, gaining experience, learning to trust God, learning to forgive, learning to keep a good attitude when things aren't going our way. The sooner we pass these tests, the sooner God will release what belongs to us. See, the prodigal son got his inheritance too soon. He went out and wasted it, spent it all living wildly.
It doesn't say. It was a quick claim deed for Vanderbilt Street. So we don't really know what it sold for. Saying public record of 2023, but on my end here, I see through Zillow, it says 2025. So that doesn't really help us. I don't know. Obviously, it doesn't show the price either. The one on Carroll and Drive. I mean, we did see 3 something for that. Let's see. This one's a 3-2 south of I-37. See, 3-1. This one's probably multifamily here on Chicago Boulevard. Steve's Avenue. Small home. Tough to say because like I said, there is that one comp that we saw on Carol Ann. Forget exactly. I think it was 320 or 330, and it needed a lot of work. But I don't know if it was just like that one outlier. I don't know if we're on the same type of lot. I mean, that was on a 0.4. We were 10,000 square feet. So 10,000. That's like, I think, was that like 0.2? I think around 10,000 square feet. All right, let me go back to Steve's Avenue.
So that one that sold for 320 needed a lot of work, and it's still sold.
Yeah, and it's still sold. Yeah. I have to check again to see if it was bought by like a family or whatever. This one here, this one looks renovated based on PropStream's pictures here. A 4. So square footage is 1601 according to Zillow. Yeah, 6. So I guess they have this. So 3-1 on Zillow, but I guess they added a bedroom and added a bathroom here. 1943 Steve's Avenue. Looks like they did a nice job. I guess that's so they changed the layout to better suit them for resale value, and it looks like they did a good job. Sold for 280. Bought by Agency Investment Group back in February of 2024. So February to July of 2024. So 5-month rehab, and but we don't know exactly what they bought it for. But they did a good job. So that's.
Does it show pending?
No. I was looking on PropStream. So like PropStream, I see MLS for 280, 723, and so July 23, 2024, and that's that. So yeah, so we could see, you could follow it here. So it was listed. They had it listed higher, 339, but they ended up, so they had it listed in May of 2024 after, when they did the renovation for 339, but it actually sold for 280 for Steve's Avenue. But that's a little bit further from where we are. But I mean, it's not too far. And then we go back to Carol Ann Drive, because that's right in the same neighborhood. And Maribel. Okay, so it was a single unmarried woman, so I don't think she's owner occupied. Yeah, so she's actually living in this house for 330,000 in Carol Ann. So I don't know, it's kind of which I don't want to trust Carol Ann. I rather, like, this was this one on Steve's Avenue. Looks like it's kind of close to a main road. Let's see if I see like a bus route or anything. Oh no. Well, yeah, there is a bus route going on Steve's Avenue. So it's a semi-busy road. Let me actually go to Street View if it has. Because that's probably why it sold a little bit less. Because anytime you're by a highway, a busy road, like a cemetery, it hurts the value. All right, so yeah, you can see here, busy road here, so 2 lanes on both sides. But it's still kind of, I don't know what to, like, I would say not even look at I wouldn't even look at Carroll Avenue, because this is a comp right here, Carroll Avenue. I don't know, it was just odd that it was bought for that much. That's what my system's telling me. I wish I had something else to go based off of, but I do not. There's Hicks Avenue. Where's Hicks at? Okay, Hicks Avenue is right behind Steve's Avenue. 3219. Okay, it's 3219, almost 2,000 square feet. Let's see. 265. It was pending for 265. Let me see if maybe it wasn't a rehab. Oh, wait, hold on, I didn't copy it, I guess. Still the same one. Copy. This one sold for 230. Bought by an investment group in 2012. Looks like it. Okay, so needed to work based off these pictures on Realtor. Actually, let's see. Actually, not terrible, but it wasn't like a flip or anything. Probably like a long-term rental or something.
To let you miss your destiny. After being turned down again and again.
So I guess based off of, we'll just kind of use Steve's Avenue here. 280, right, is what that sold for. Yeah, 280 for what we have. A little more, 320, 330, I don't know, 340 possibly. It's more than 320, yeah, 340, 350, I don't know. And you haven't talked to the seller at all or anything?
No, but the notes that I have from the lead source, they're saying that they have a note in there saying that they're asking 270 as is.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't, you have to be a little bit lower than that. Because let's say, it's really, and this is a multifamily. Drexel Avenue, where's that at? That's really far. Don't want to use that. Steve's Avenue is another one that's here. What's this one? 5-2. Alright, well, this one was, flooring was done, exterior is pretty bad. Sold in January of this year, 1444 Steve's Avenue. Sold for 114, but it was, I don't know if they bought to live in there. Countryside, just seller take back. 79,000. Open capital. Huh. I mean, we don't really know the condition of this one. I think it's 270 is more than what you should be paying for the home. I think I already looked at Vanderbilt. Looked at that one already. Island Park. 4-2. This one looks pretty basic. Looks like there's a thing in the back, a mother-in-law, but I could be wrong. Apartment in rear, yeah. Okay, I don't want to use that. So they have a main house and a little apartment in the rear. Bailey Street, or Bailey Avenue. Sold off market. 1,700 square feet. Let me just put in that one. There's really like, I mean, only one good rehab, and that sold for 280 because it was on a busy road. We are like 400 or 500 square feet more than that house on I don't know what street it was, Steve's Avenue or something. This one I don't see. This one's bought by an LLC. I don't know what they bought it for, unfortunately. Tough to say, man. 340, 350 is really, but I'm kind of only using this one. There's everything else that's sold wasn't really like a flip. Or if it was bought, then it was bought by like just some regular person who didn't put any money into the home, just bought it as is. When I get in these types of situations, like I always try to, like, for people who I sold to in the past, just kind of get their opinion on it and see what they would pay for something like that in that area. Because I really don't know. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't feel confident going more than 350, but again, maybe someone local might know that definitely would know the area better than me. Of a home that was renovated, that was a 4-2, or sorry, that was a. Well, I mean, I think you could easily make this a 3-2, make it more desirable. But I think 350. But I could, like I said, I could be wrong. So you might have to check with somebody who's flipping over there for a living. Um, but yeah, if that's the case, 270 wouldn't work. Exterior looks pretty good. I mean, I would have to put this in Google Maps to see when the last time it was this photo was taken. Maybe 2022, maybe of this year. Who knows? But exterior looks nice. They passed. I guess the Google thing passed by around Christmas time. You could see the reef and stuff. So Christmas lights as well. If you do 0.75, you're already at 262 and $500, and then you would have to subtract. It's a big home. If anything, maybe kitchen could use some work. Bathroom is always the first two that would get the renovating need renovation, and it's probably it's probably a light rehab. If it's a light rehab, you could be looking at. I mean, with this type of square footage, and plus you got to add. If it's not if it is an actual 2-1, you have to add, change the layout and everything like that. You could be looking at 60,000 between rehab and then reconfiguring the layout of the home. In that case, you'd be closer to 200,000 as an offer price.
Right. And that's all based on just the square footage and the room size we have right now, not knowing that the real square footage or anything like that.
Wait, so one more time, can you say that question again?
That's only based on what it's showing as a 2-1 with that square footage. We don't know if it's the actual 3-2, 2-2.
Yeah, that's my first thing to the seller. Like when I call them and I have if I have a decent conversation towards the end of the call, just want to verify, is it like a 2-bedroom home or is it like a 3-bedroom, and then they'll confirm it there. According, I mean, usually PropStream always picks up what that has for the county. So I'm assuming it is. I mean, if they, I don't know. I mean, let me just double check here because I think PropStream did call it a 2-1. Oh no, they actually called it a 3-2. Okay. Oh, there's pictures here. All right. So you can kind of see. I'm not sure when was it listed at one point. Let's see.
Wait, is that the same house?
I believe so. Hold on. 106 Iris.
106?
Yeah. All right, so we got some pictures here. Yeah, clean. I gotta get rid of a few things. Fix up the kitchen, like I was saying. You keep the beams up top here. Make it look stylish. I guess maybe a different coat of paint. Maybe like a darker brown. People like doing the darker brown or keeping that same brown. But
and this is on PropStream? I'm on.
Yes, PropStream.
Yeah, because I'm on PropWire and it has nothing.
Looks like these are from 2022. It says copyright 2022, San Antonio Board of Realtors. So I guess at one point in time they did have it listed. Not sure for how much. Bathroom looks dated, like I was saying.
Huh.
I don't know what's in the back here. I can't tell what this. I don't know. Do they have a pool?
It says it has a pool.
Oh, it does have a pool. Okay, that helps a lot too. Let me just go to map view. Yeah, I don't know when this aerial view was taken, but it looks like his pool was drained in this thing. Let me see if there's any other pools out. Oh, there's a pool right next to us. Okay. Let me click on. Let's see.
Okay, so I see him on Realtor.
Yeah. When does it say when it was when it was listed by chance, or well, I guess it's probably 2022 because that's what it says here. Let's see. If I go back to was it 106, right? Is there a thing?
Yeah.
And just go back here. Let me see what they say for resale value. I mean, they're saying Current value of the home is 271. Wholesale price is 180. I think, and that's a 32. So yeah, it needs some work. I don't. I mean, who knows? Maybe they did some type of renovations to it after it was, because it's basically like could have been like it's essentially like a failed listing, because it was listed roughly 3 years ago, and could have been a thing. Maybe they just didn't want it, or maybe they didn't get their number. But people change their minds sometimes. Looks like they have the pool table there as well.
Do you see a pool? In the pictures I'm showing, don't see a pool.
Yeah, I see a pool. Even if you go to like the aerial view, it doesn't. It's like it's covered with. If you're looking on my
Oh,
screen,
okay. I see it now. It has a cover on it or something, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Because I was like, is that turf or just dead grass? And then now I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I saw that picture as well. So then I just double checked and I went to, the aerial view of the home, and you could see that there is a pool there, and there's a pool right to the right of us of the house, too. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, what I would do.
So now this says 3-2.
Yeah, it does come up as a 3-2. Zillow saying 2-1, but 3-2, which I figured because I was like, there's no way it has all that square footage, and it's just only definitely. I mean, there's been spacious 2 bedrooms, but it has to have another bathroom with that type of square footage. So whether it be a half or a full, but it looks like according to this, I mean, looks like a master bedroom. Master bathroom, and that has this like a stand-up shower. So there's 2 full baths. If it's a half bath, guys, I mean, for anything it's a half bath, it's just gonna have a toilet and a sink. Full bath, it's gonna have a shower or a tub or whatever.
Yeah. So shows it was listed in December 2022. Listing removed at 239.
Yeah. I feel like probably. I mean, I think if there's no holes or anything, if it looks the same, I think they should be able to get that if it was listed. But then again, it's like tough to say because, I mean, half a mile down the road, there was what was it, a 4-2. It was on a busy street, and that was completely renovated for 280. So I mean, I mean, granted, I think we were a little bit small. Where was it was at Hicks, I think. 1532
And
Hicks Avenue.
did that one have a pool?
No, no pool. No, this is not it. What was the house? Was it Steve's Avenue? I gotta try to find this real quick.
So that one was fully renovated. You said a half a mile away and sold for 270.
1943 Steve's Avenue. On a busy road, 2 lanes on both sides. House sat right on the busy road. Sold for 280, July of 2024. 1943 Steve's Avenue. They made it into a 4-2, 1601 square feet. So 600 square foot smaller than ours. So again, we have more square footage. We have a pool. I didn't even see the pool till now. So I think over 350 is doable. It depends on the areas, but usually, let's say my market's pool increases could be like around 15,000 more, for the value of the home when you have a pool. But I don't know the market on for Texas, so I'm not sure. But I would definitely. I mean, looks like Agency Investment Group, they bought it back in February of 2024. So that's someone who I would want to try to get in contact with, see if they're still buying in the San Antonio area, and then kind of see where they would be at price wise. I wouldn't give away that. Again, if I only give away sometimes the address if it's people who I've dealt with in the past, but for someone random that you're reaching out to, flipper, I wouldn't disclose the address. I'll just say the neighborhood. It's a 3-2, over a little over 2,000 square feet, has a pool, normal, normal rehab, average rehab, you could tell them, him or her, and then see where they would need to be at if they're an active investor. They could probably give you a good estimate, because it's not this one right here from Agency Investment Group. It's not that house. Our house on Iris is not far at all. So hopefully that helps you out there.
You have everything
Gotcha.
you need to live a victorious
Let's see here, Steve. You have something in Venetian Boulevard off market. Let's see.
Yeah, it's right. I just want to kind of see. I know that a lot of these properties had a lot of water damage. Just kind of wanted to see. I know that this is kind of your market as well.
Yeah, north. It's in Shore Acres most likely. This home is. Shore Acres flooded a lot, and I don't know if you go to like Zillow has. I'm not sure. I think they still have the feature where you could click on the map of Zillow and then you could kind of see like the flood thing. But I know Northeast St. Pete. Like I can tell you what area is flooded, but it. So yeah, so like we're right around here. So the old Tampa Bay area. So if I zoom in, let's see. Let me remove the boundary here. There should be. Yeah, so right in Shore Acres flooded a lot. I mean, there's, I want to say like almost every home in Shore Acres flooded. But to see that, for you could just click on map on the bottom right here, and then click on flood, and you can see the whole thing. So most likely it did flood, but it's always good to just double check and ask because you never know. Sometimes they're like for my area, like my whole map, like where I'm located, it shows flood, but I mean, the house that I'm in didn't flood, so it could be like that. But anyway, let's look and see. Have you spoke to this owner at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, he wants three. I have an appointment with him at 3:30 today, but we briefly spoke this morning. He said that he wants to get as close as 300 as possible, but I mean, obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. But because he did say the property did get a little bit, flooded when the storm
Yeah.
came through. So I don't know how bad, or how much money the renovations are going to be given the flood.
Was it remediated at all? I'm assuming it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's living there or he was living there primarily or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
so like at least hopefully they got rid of the. Let's say if it flooded 2 feet, then you would have to get rid of like 4 or 5 feet of drywall, and then
Yeah.
all that kind of. So hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming that there was some remediation done, because if not, then you're just gonna have a whole bunch of mold sitting in the house and stuff. All right, so let's look and see. We're at 3.2, 2+, or under 1750 square feet. I don't think we're not on
Yeah.
the wall.
No. So he is living there, by the way.
Okay.
So I would assume that he's not living there with a bunch of mold and stuff. You would think.
Yeah.
But he says that it definitely still needs to be redone. It looks like he just kind of rigged it up until he can kind of figure out a plan.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, yeah. So let's see. We have a garage, right? Yeah, we do. A 2-car garage. Okay, awesome. All right, so this one looks like a nice rehab. There's this one. There's this one. This one as well. We are. I don't know if we're a block. Yeah, it looks like a block home. Let me just double check. Property, construction, masonry. Yeah, block home. All right, so that's good. Let's see where this 590 is. 590 is over here on Pennsylvania Avenue. This one, 599 on Venetian Boulevard, right down the road. All right, so this one's a different style. So I like these three right here. But let's start with the 590. Does he have a pool or no?
No, I don't think so. We didn't kind of get that far. Like I said, I called him this morning. He was kind of like, "Hey, I'm at work. I'm sorry I'm being short, but I just want to let you know that we can discuss more at 3:30." So
Okay.
I did get as much as I could.
So this one looks like it was a flip. Bought July of 2024 for 345, sold for 590. So and I don't know if there's a street view of the home. There's no street view unless I click on Google Maps to see. But most likely, if I search up Pennsylvania Drive and Shore Acres, then You will see an LLC or an INC under it.
It's a pretty crazy spread. 350 to 600.
Yeah. This area is really popular. I mean, even though it floods a lot, it could be like the slightest rainstorm, like the streets are kind of just.
What's what's kind of the flood insurance that these folks get, or do they not even offer that?
You get flood. It's ridiculously high. I don't know what I rent, so I don't have to worry about flood insurance, all that kind of stuff. So like I just know. I know it definitely went higher since for most homes that flooded. It definitely went higher after the two hurricanes that passed by in September and in October. But yeah, so Barden Remodeling LLC.
Yeah.
So, okay. So hold on. We could see. So I guess kind of like a wholesaler. They kind of double. Looks like I guess I see Acuity or whatever capital.
Yeah.
Sold it to Barden, then Barden Remodeling, then sold it to Sarah and Paul. So 345 is that what we saw too on the sale on the thing here, or did
Like it was. I think it was 355.
no 345? Okay.
Oh,
So
345. Yeah.
okay. So yeah. I mean, I'm in. And we have a few pictures here from PropStream, most likely of the remodel. They did a nice job. So I mean that could be a good 3-2. We don't have a pool though. They had a pool. So what's our square footage again? 14 something.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like. What's the year built?
We were built in 1970. They were built 1970. So six. I mean, I would still, no matter if it's within a 10-year difference, then you're fine. Unless you go back to let's say the 60s, just because then they have the copper wiring, and then they have that whole issue, and all right, so that's 590. So realistically, I mean, 3-2. We were that same lot size possibly. We were a little bit smaller. So you're probably looking at maybe like a 570. Let me see. There's that one. There's this comp here for 550 on. I think it was Venetian, right? Yeah, Venetian Boulevard. Doesn't look like it was a. Doesn't it sold off? Oh no, it's sold on market. I guess price change. So I could put this into Realtor.com, or maybe just put it into PropStream to see. But most likely bought by a regular, couple. Let's see if there's any photos here. Okay, so we have a few pictures to look at here, according to PropStream. So 38 photos, 1,300 square feet, so a little bit smaller, still for 550, and they didn't have a pool.
Yeah.
Oh, they did have a pool. Shit. Okay. All right, they had a pool. Inside looks pretty good too, based on these photos here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So tough to say. Linked properties. They have 2 linked properties. So that's 550. I mean, we're definitely going to be over 5. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's asked, I mean, let's say we do let's say 540. 40.7, 378. I mean, on a rehab like this, I mean, if he's asking 300, it's not terrible. That's not a bad ask.
Yeah.
On this type of, if it's everything from top to bottom, he's living there, so it's probably like an average rehab, nothing crazy. But we don't know. I don't want to assume, but let's say, on this type of square footage, if it's every little thing, roof, AC, all that kind of stuff, you're going to be looking at around 80 to fix up if it's every little thing,
Yeah.
around 80K for a rehab, which puts you just under 300.
Okay. I think that I could, like I said, I have a call with him at 3:30, so I think that I could probably get him down to, 260, 270, and I think we can make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, if you do, let me know.
Do you have any buyers specifically in this location, or do they kind of stay away from the flood?
At first they did, I did before hurricane, and then after they're like, oh, we're only gonna buy it like a 0.6 or whatever. Then now it's kind of like, since it's already been almost a year now, they're they're still looking. But at the time when I was sending them stuff that were in that area, it it was kind of a weird because everyone was like, what the hell, like there's so much inventory, but we don't know like what the. So now I think it's back to where they're buying at a 0.7, 0.75. Like I said before, it was a hurricane time, during that hurricane, post hurricane, it was like a 0.6, I would say, but they were still buying, of course. As we saw like, the one comp on Pennsylvania, that was something that was bought right after the hurricane, so where was it here? So they looking at the thing because the hurricane happened. So they actually, hold on, it was okay. So they had. I wonder how well they did because hurricane happened in, like I said, end of September, beginning of there's two. So end of September, beginning of October of 2024. So they bought this after or before the hurricane, but they still sold it after. So oh man, hold up now. They sold this right before. I wonder how this person's making out because they sold right before that first hurricane for $5.90. I didn't even catch that. And then so that was like the height of it, and then since after, then we see the flip like this. That was a little bit under because this was a rehab, I believe, too, right? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a rehab actually. Hold on. Damn. All right. So maybe. I still comped it at a 5.4.
Wow. Hey Terrell, go look at this one. It's 5500 Bayou. It's the street right beside. 5500 BAYOU.
Yeah.
Grande Boulevard. So that one's on market right now. Very similar to ours. And
oh yeah. For sale.
And this one's like a mid flip. So it's like you can see where they like kind of took it out and like they're about to do the water repairs and they just kind of left it as is.
Has the pool too.
Yeah, this was just on market, and it looks like that this one is probably
okay,
like ready for rehab, right? Like
yeah, it's ready for rehab.
So like at that 425, I know that it's more renovated in terms of the insides, but considering that they're still going to have to put in a decent amount of work.
Yeah, it's gonna put in decent. I still think resale value is like probably just right under 550. Let's look to see if there's any like sold, or sorry, not sold, anything for sale other than that one. That would work.
There's one on, it's 5946 Bayou Grande. That one's on market for 560. It's a little bit bigger in square footage. Does it have a pool? No pool.
Let me look at under.
What's if we were to JV, then what's kind of your split in terms of like if you had the buyer?
It'll be 50-50.
Okay.
If it's anything to where like I have to like talk to the seller and to get them lower and all that kind of stuff, like on your acquisition side, then I would 60-40. But anything you already have the deal and then we're I already have the buyer, we're gonna do a 50-50.
Okay.
But let me see. There's a lot. It's crazy how much stuff are.
It's because nobody wants to buy and rehab, right? Like, folks are just trying to live there, I guess.
Well, it's just a lot of inventory right now. It's just crazy. There's definitely a flipper that would take this on. I think if you were to even, like I said, if you got it for like 280 or slightly under 300, you should have a buyer in no time, because I still think it's definitely resale values over 500.
Yeah.
Now, getting into 540, that's a different. I think you could still get to 540 without it being an issue. But it's always good to look at like flipped homes that are for sale to see, because that's sometimes I neglect doing that, because how it's holding costs right there. How long are you going to sit on the market?
Yeah, that's true.
because some people don't take account to like some investors. Like I think my one investor who think got a house from me was on a busy road is still trying to sell that same house. So it's like
Wow.
they I think bought it from me September October of 20 of last year. I mean I just put it in just to see. Maybe it's I mean when I checked like 2 months ago it was still up.
Do your guys all come in with hard money?
Oh, it's pending now. Okay. No, it's a mix. Like I'm selling a deal today. He's using hard money. He's not. I don't know how much he's of his own liquid cash he's bringing to the table, but I know it's hard. Like there's going to be a lender involved.
Yeah.
That should be close. Actually, it was supposed to. I think it's closing at 2, but it's closing today. But yeah, that's some. It's a mix. It's hard money. It's straight cash. And this guy who bought this house, it was straight cash. Let me see when it was pending now. But like I said, they've been sitting on this for a while now. So pending, what's today? The 13th, right? Friday the 13th. So they just got pending a week ago. But they had it. Oh, they've been pending before. Okay, I must have missed that then. But I guess they've been on. So basically, it's a bit, rehab probably. Yeah. So read them from September to March, and then pending right after, and then it's still pending. So, but this is on a busy road. So. 2 lanes on both sides. I mean, it has a nice horseshoe driveway, which is nice, but still, no one really wants to live on a busy road with a family and stuff like that. You could only you could sell it, but it's just going to take some time, and that's what people sometimes neglect to account for. All right, so yeah, for this, I think you're good. Just have a conversation at 3 or whatever, and hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably 2 or 3 people come to mind for me regarding, but you probably already have your buys as well. But just keep me posted, I guess. And if it wasn't in a flood zone, then it would be something that I would consider for myself. But I don't want to buy anything in a flood zone because it's just who knows what's gonna happen. Right now we're in hurricane season. We're in hurricane season. So,
Yeah. No, I get you.
I want to say like I don't know November or whatever. So it's just
Yeah.
like another one. So
So if I get this thing under I'm going to try to get it under contract for like 250 to 270, and then he'll probably counter with 280. And then we'll find a number. But
yeah.
how are you far away from this property? Like if you wanted to get your buyers to come and see it.
No, I live about like 20 minutes away, 25
Okay.
minutes away.
Okay, so that's one of the big things for me, especially with like virtual, because I'm up in
Yeah.
Virginia, so like obviously I can't come down to do this. So
It's difficult. Like I always recommend when people do virtual, like you have some type of boots on the ground.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm like on the other coast of St. Pete. So like they're all the way in the northeast. I'm like all the way across towards like Madeira Beach area. So like I would have to travel all through 54th Avenue, I'm pretty sure, to get there. But yeah, just keep me posted on how it goes.
yeah, and I'm working on another one right now in what's it called, Pinellas Park. I don't know if you know where that
Pinellas
is.
Park, yeah, that's in the central part of Pinellas Park is right over here. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that was I do a lot of PPL, and that one just came in for me. I swear I added a filter to St. Pete because you were down there, so I have a
Yeah.
couple of leads coming in.
now Pinellas Park is something because that doesn't really get flooded. It's in the middle, So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I don't know what the price point of that would be, but yeah. But for me, like I'm looking for anything that's like a block home, probably under. It depends. I don't know. Like I don't want to look at anything over 300,000.
Yeah, I got you. This one might be dead. It's a condo. I don't know if you do
Oh
condos.
yeah, no, never
Yeah,
mind. No condos.
yeah, I know. I don't touch condos usually either. I didn't even see that came in. Damn.
It's all good.
All right.
All right. Any other questions on this one, Steve? Or
No, that was it. I'll let you know. I'll send you a message on Discord. After I have the conversation with him.
sounds good. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Some folks escaping. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, guys, I have a closing today. So I'm trying to see if at the so we usually like a day before or whatever we get the HUD statement and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I can show you guys that. This one's like nothing crazy for me, but it is what it is. All right, so let's see. Got sent yesterday.
Was this one in St. Pete?
This one was in Pennsylvania, Allentown.
Gotcha.
So Parkland is the the thing, the title company, sale of the property. It was 220, so you can see that there. So basically, buyer, or in this case, I mean, it says borrower, but like you see the lender here. This was their hard money right here, QNB Bank. The buyer, and then where's the seller? Seller's here. And the breakdown. So like I have the contract for 220. I sold it to him for 225 to the M&B properties. So you're not going to see 225 on here. You're going to see the sale price between me and the seller here. That's Todd. Then it shows the whole breakdown. The deposit was 2K. Loan amount. So like I said, he brought some money to the table. He bought 176, and he already paid. So he's already in it for 178, and then the loan is covering that second half, the second half from all the way up to 220. See seller. It basically just goes down the whole thing here. Just like a regular accounting sheet or whatever. Has all the fees, taxes, all that kind of stuff, loan fee, all that kind of stuff. I remember too when the seller because I guess for the buyer, I guess for him to get the approval for the hard money, he had to send a guy in there from the QNB bank or whatever, appraiser thing, whatever, just to make sure that he's qualified and all that. Everything, the house is good. They're gonna get, because they're not gonna lend money to any bad investment. So, I remember telling Todd that, hey, look, we're good. We're basically buying it side because the guy has actually seen this property before, for M&B properties, but it's been like around a year. So, things change. But I told him like, hey, look, I don't need to see it. We're good to go. Then a week ago, then I was like, hey, look, I gotta send my appraiser there just to make sure, we're good because we're getting a hard money loan. And then like Todd was like, oh, I thought you were gonna be all cash. It's like, well, for most of it, but for a small thing I had to get in. And so the whole thing, because some sellers like selling without any showing. So like that kind of like I guess piqued his interest because he didn't have to show it at all. He didn't have to bother his tenants. It was a duplex, so one tenant on both sides, all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's see. Yeah, appraisal review. You can see that there, and then a whole bunch of lender stuff. It's a lot. And then, so at the end of the day, I mean, seller is let's see, due to seller 218. So he's getting this much at the end of the day. So it's not bad, he was sale price of 220. At the end of the day, because I know, because again, closing costs are already paid for. The only thing that you would have to pay for on the seller side is just the 1% transfer tax. That's how it is for Pennsylvania. So 1% to buyer, 1% to seller. So that was that small fee there, and then you can see the tax there. So city and state, and then I'm only getting paid 35 today, but it was a total of 5,000, but this I will be getting like a wire sent to me for the 3,500. Then he's paying me off the HUD an extra 1,500. Small fee, but it's it's better than nothing. So it was just convenient for the seller. The guy actually owns the property next door, so he's just it'll be two units side by side. So that's what piqued his interest. So
Hey, Terrell, I had one question. What do you
Yeah.
charge in terms of EMD to your buyers?
Sorry, what do I charge you regarding EMD?
Yeah, like what do you charge to your buyers? Like what do you
It's
make them come to the table?
So I usually try to do like 2% of the sale price. I try to make it reasonable, nothing crazy. Some people always do like there are some wholesalers that start charge like a standard of 5 or like standard of 7,500. But I usually just it depends. It really depends. Like if it's like a property that's worth 100,000, then I'm probably only charge like a $1,500 EMD. That's kind of like how I operate. But there are people, like I said, companies or individuals who just have a standard no matter what. Like of the sale amount, they'll just a base standard of 5,000 or a base standard of like 7,500. Like that's typical. But I kind of just it's it's nothing crazy. It's usually always within like 2% of the sale.
Okay.
But then some sellers, they'll ask for a higher EMD just to make sure you're not pussyfooting around, with $100. They actually want like
Yeah.
a 5,000. Like the one we're dealing with, Sherry, she asked for 5K right up front. She didn't, because she knew that all the flippers were calling her and just, giving her $50 EMD. She said, no, that's I'm not going to do anything.
And then as soon as I make sure that I get a receipt from the buyer, in this case it was a $2,000 EMD. He actually brought 5,000. He thought it was 5,000 because he probably dealt with other people in the past. It's like that's their standard, but he sent 5,000. But they fixed that on the second statement that they did. But so technically he would only have to bring well, I guess the lender's bringing most of that amount too. So it'd be what is that? 173 to the table from the lender. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, as soon as I get the EMD from I make sure the buyer sends me a copy so I could forward it over to the seller, or to even like the agent. Let's say if there's an agent involved, and they know like, oh, okay, he's good, But yeah, so that's what I do. Any other questions regarding this HUD statement, guys, or anything? I mean, it's
No, that was helpful. But during when you were copying his property, I did get off and contact the owner of the Iris.
yeah,
So it is a 3.2 2,700, but he's redone everything. And he's still asking for 270. He put 12,000 in the pool. He rebuilt the patio. He took out a $50,000 loan. He did all the bathrooms. He painted inside and out. The only thing that needs to be done is the flooring. And
gotcha. Did you have pictures by chance or not?
he was going to send them to me. I don't know how I keep getting these old people, but he's 71. They've lived in the house 20 years, him and his wife. All the kids are out. They just had a graduation party where they had 75 people there, and they had plenty of room, they said.
Okay.
Plenty of room. A dining room connects to a living room that connects to the bathrooms. The whole house is painted interior white. The outside is black and white trim. The only thing that needs to be done is the floors, he said. And he said that he was going to think about putting it on the market. And I was like, well, what makes you think you can get what you need out of the market and not with an investor? So he then went into the investors are coming in at 140 and 160. And he says he's not going to do it. So the realtor said, if you put in the money, we could get at least 300,000 out of it.
Oh, this is before because I was looking to see because like he was, I don't know, so he wasn't lying. He took out a loan. He took a HELOC out, equity, home equity line of credit for people who don't know. But you could see a loan amount of 80,000.
So he
wasn't like
right
bullshitting.
Right. So right now he has about 75,000 due because he had about 23 left on his mortgage, and then he took 50K out. So he's got about roughly. He said, he's like, I don't know, to the penny, but it's about 75,000 I do. And he wants to get out and move to the country. They want to downsize and do a mobile home, and he wants to get out of debt and go travel. So that's why he's asking for 270. So the realtor he just got in, it's a friend of his, and the realtor said that I can get you 300 as it is right now. But
that's probably true.
But he's asking for 270.
Yeah. No, I know. So I mean, we would have to see those photos and kind of go based off of that, and then see, what the rental market is for a home of that size, 2,200 square feet with a pool, and see if there's any other comps that could justify, let's say maybe getting, 3,000 or more in rent, and then you could hopefully find a buy and hold investor willing to, to play the long game,
Right.
but that's about it.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, so I'm waiting for pictures. He said you got two ACs, 4-ton and a 2-ton, that are 6 years old. The water heater was just
mhm.
sold last month, and they're going to get a new roof because they had hail damage, and the insurance is going to pay for the new roof, and he's just paying the 2K deductible. So it's going to have a new roof in about, in a month or so. Depending on, when he sells, he's going to get the roof put on. But he still wants only 270.
All right.
Yeah, so he says everything's been done. Every bathroom's all been redone, bedrooms, except he's going to try to he was going to either put in wood flooring, wood plank, the vinyl plank flooring, or linoleum. And he said, well, I'll just have to pick whatever one I like, or my wife likes. And the only thing, the bathroom, ceramics tiles are in the 2 bathrooms, and there's no cracks in them, and it's basically white and in the laundry room. And he says there's no reason to change that because there's nothing wrong with it. So, and he says it gives it a different flow to the house, but he's like, you wouldn't be able to tell if anything. There's no carpet anywhere.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. But yeah, so I guess just wait for those photos, and we can just go from there. In the meantime, you can look at like I said, the rental market to see if it's what homes of that size of a pool kind of go for, and then based off of that, I'm hoping that it's around the 3,000 mark or slightly higher than 3,000. Then it would make sense for anyone to logically buy it as is for 270 if they could easily rent it out for 3 or more. You know. So yeah, that's good. All right. Good conversation. It seems like, and I mean, and don't get you don't have to. I mean, most of I mean this seller here for this, I think he's like 62 or something. So like, it's you have it's just what it comes across. It's just as sometimes you get good deals like that. I don't know. Sometimes you get, but it's like I wish I had like a whole like age of everyone who I've wholesaled, done a wholesale deal with, but I would say it's probably like 40, like at least 50 and up, 40 to 50 and up. If anything, it's been like younger. If it's like, let's say someone inherited the home and they don't want it, then it'll be like, I've done deals like that. But most of the typical homeowners, they bought it 20 plus years ago, 15 plus years ago. They've had their they lived in it, or it was an investment, or lived in it for a few years, and then it was a long-term investment for them, and then just got tired of it. So like, I don't know. And then I've dealt with the oldest seller who I've did a deal with recently, and then she was like 92. So like, I don't know. She was up there in age, but she was nice lady, but that's probably takes the cake. I don't think I've ever dealt with anybody more than that. It's kind of crazy, but
Sherry.
Well, she's not up there. She's not past 90 something.
Well, she just turned 73, but I mean, she's one flew over the cuckoo's nest on that one.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, and speaking of her, so when I talked to her yesterday, one lawyer did call her up, and she spoke to him briefly. And I guess the lawyer network that I put into was for Texas, but she got contacted by somebody in Colorado. So he referred her back to the Texas branch because they don't have like a Medicaid dealment that they do with. They'd have to deal with it in Texas to get their information. So she's been contacted by him, but she just wants to get that information from the Texas lawyer now. So, and then now she's been getting like calls from other flippers, and then she right off the bat she just says, they're offering her maybe like 60,000-70,000, and they're just saying, hey, I can offer you 60,000, and she just says, don't call me ever again. So
yeah. All right, so hopefully she gets in touch with the attorney that could help her right away, so we can get this ball moving, because it's only going to be a matter of time before she goes with somebody else potentially, but we don't know. Right now, I mean, hopefully she says like, oh, I don't remember, or blah blah blah. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I set up a couple more consultations. I've just been going on websites and just sending her information to have them call her back. It was free consultation. So
Okay.
I'll reach back out to her tonight and see if she has any talking to of anybody. Because she said she's tired of it. She says, "No, I'm getting so many phone calls. I just want to get rid of the house, but I need to know because I can't buy my van and lose my Medicaid." So
I hear you.
yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the update. Yeah, just
Okay.
keep on her, and hopefully we could get this done over the summer.
Huh. Started in the spring.
Yeah. It just goes like that, So many hoops to jump.
Hopefully it's not a Christmas present. Huh.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Guys, any other last minute questions? No.
No.
Eric, are you in here? I think he might. I don't know. I'm looking at my phone. He did just text me because he has this thing at 12:15. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the Zoom for today. My next Zoom will be on Monday, guys. Same time, 11 to 12. Hope to see you guys there. In the meantime, you have a good rest of your Friday, good weekend. Hit the phones, and if you need any help, just reach out to me, and I'll try to get back as soon as I can.
All right. Thanks.
Yep. Take care.
Thanks, Terrell.
Yep.